Coming up tonight on Now, did you know the Library of Congress is saving every tweet ever? Well, not anymore. We'll explain.
Plus, we continue this in-depth look into the conditions in Puerto Rico. This time we're looking at healthcare needs.
Plus, it is cold and it's not getting any warmer. We'll tell you one thing every homeowner needs to have their eye out for.
This is News Center now. Temperatures are going down with the sun, and they did not start off very high to begin with. Some towns could be below zero tonight.
And this bitter cold won't go away anytime soon. The National Weather Service says Mainers should prepare for freezing pipes, dead car batteries, and other hazards that come with a cold streak. Hey everybody, I'm Chris Costa.
And I'm Amanda Hill. All the fun stuff, right?
I know, I have like no good news. Sorry.
So, well, to give you a little bit of support, we're here. We're hanging out in the Weather Center with Miss
so
Jess
lovely.
Conley.
This is great. Hi guys.
Big smiles.
Yeah.
And
big
here comes
smiles.
the
Yeah. And here
Bad
it goes
news.
downhill. Temperatures right now, it's cold, single digits for most of us, and then with the wind, guys, it's even worse. Definitely, it's going to get really cold overnight tonight. I mean, we are talking about temperatures overnight feeling like they're anywhere from 30 to 40 below for some of us. Right now, the actual air temperatures are, for the most part, in the single digits. 9 degrees currently in Portland. It's 4 right now in Bangor, 7 in Bar Harbor. 6 below, though, in Rangeley. Greenville, you're at 6 below as well. Millinocket at 2 below. And Caribou currently at 3 below. But who cares about the actual air temperature? What does it feel like out there? You can see the wind chills. Look at this. Feels like 4 below right now in Portland, 5 below in Rockland, 8 below in Bangor. But let's head up north. Caribou currently feels like 19 degrees below zero, and just wait until overnight tonight. It's going to feel even colder. Feels like 25 below right now in Greenville. This is part of the reason why clear skies, but it's also pretty breezy out there, and we'll see the winds continue overnight tonight and into the day tomorrow. Wind chill advisories in effect for the areas in kind of the light aqua blue, and then wind chill warnings, which means the wind chill could make it feel as cold as 30 to 40 below for the areas in that kind of darker periwinkle blue, guys. So either way, it's going to be very, very chilly overnight tonight, and it looks like it's going to stay cold for quite some time. Not good.
No, not good at all.
All right, so more of that a little bit later on, sorry to say. The frigid air can cause a number of problems, we know that, but one we might not think about right away, the trees that were actually damaged by that October windstorm.
Yeah, these temps can cripple damaged trees, and for one Richmond family, they are up against the cold and the clock.
It's been hanging in there for 2 months since the damage, so we're just living kind of on borrowed time.
Britt Morris says shortly after October's windstorm, the tree outside her home in Richmond cracked. Several attempts to remove it failed.
Tried. How many trucks have come and looked at it and rolled in? 5 or 6. 5 or 6 with bucket trucks that have come in, that have gotten to this point and just haven't been able to reach it and said, you know, we need a crane, we need bigger equipment.
Then, Christmas morning, there arose such a clatter. The family dog, Chelsea, and Morris's husband went outside to inspect.
Chelsea started to paw and whine at the tree, and Keith got a little closer, thought it was a squirrel, and he could hear it cracking and actually visually see it separating.
Not even ropes and straps could keep the tree from inching closer to the house, no thanks to the bitter cold and wind.
You don't really know what's going to happen.
She and her husband take turns staying home to watch the tree and their home.
I'm on pins and needles. You know, the shower has to get finished. We have to get out of the bathroom. We have to get ready. And then we're away from that part of the house. And I kind of breathe a sigh of relief when my husband goes to work and the animals and I can get in the living room and stay in that part of the house. Cage is all ready to go in case we need to get Chelsea and Norman out pretty quickly. And their bag of food and medications or anything they need is in there. So we're ready to roll right out the front door or the other door if needed.
Crews were back at it Wednesday, ready to help just in time.
Do you think this would have made it through the winter?
It's hard to say. I couldn't tell you yes or no on it, but obviously it needed to come down.
Scott Peacock of Capital Area Tree Service says they've received a number of calls like this since the October windstorm.
If ice gets in it and expands, it definitely has a factor in the longevity of the tree.
Morris has had to hold off on her business organizing people's homes while she focuses on her own.
It's a race against time.
Now, the family reached out to us to tell us about this story and asked us to see what the holdup was. Now, if you ever want to know something or you have a question for us, remember, you can email us at asknow@wcsh6.com or WLBZ2.com, or you can comment right now on our Facebook live stream.
Right. All right. With the new year just around the corner, people are planning not only their celebrations, but also resolutions. All week, we're getting tips from Gretchen Noonan, a healthy eating and exercise program coordinator at Let's Go. She says picking a goal that involves small steps is the key to actually sticking to your resolution. However, according to U.S. News and World Report, 80% of us will give up on our resolution by February. Noonan says there are ways to get back on track.
Well, you forgive yourself, for starters. I think we all need to indulge sometimes. So I think the best thing you can do is just put it behind you. You had a good time, and then just pick back up with your small step and keep trying until you get it really under your belt.
Tomorrow on News Center Now, we will hear Noonan's take on the best health apps to keep you on course with your resolution in 2018, because that kind of helps keep you on track a little bit.
I know there's people who got some holiday presents that are going to need those.
Yes.
So anyway, also trending right now on Twitter is the hashtag Next Year I Promise To. Allie says 2018 is the year she will quit smoking. Good luck, Allie. It's a healthy habit. Jeffrey, not exactly reaching for the stars here. He says next year he promises to write 2018 on his checks. And anything beyond that is just ambitious. Amma says next year she promises to never make any promises. Pretty clever. And Kevin promises to post more pictures of Harley. Yes, Kevin, based on that picture right there, I think that is a great New Year's resolution.
That is a wonderful New Year's resolution. More dog pics. All right, months without power when you rely on dialysis to live.
Does that scare you?
Eso la asusta.
Sí.
Many Puerto Ricans have moved out of shelters back into their homes, but there are so many health dangers remaining. Our report from On the Ground in Puerto Rico next. Okay, a lot of us rely on electricity for things like internet and television, but it's not until the power goes out that we realize how many people actually need it to survive.
In Puerto Rico, families who need power for dialysis or other healthcare needs are really struggling. Electricity has been off the grid for months in some places, destroyed by Hurricane Maria. Leah Luciano brings us today's episode of Puerto Rico Rises.
Adjuntas, like most towns in the central mountain range of Puerto Rico, was particularly devastated by Hurricane Maria. When we arrived, nearly 3 months later, the entire town was still without power. When Annie returned home after the storm, she found her roof gone. Her son fixed it, but the spring water connected to her house was still unsafe for drinking, and buying bottled water gets expensive.
Pues la agua es de lo más difícil, porque siempre hay que tener, o sea, tratar de conseguirla para tomar. Si no, pues, no sé quién se arriesga a tomarse esa, pero por lo menos yo no lo hago.
But even more expensive than water is the lack of power.
¿Tienes idea más o menos cuánto ha gastado en comprar gasolina?
Desde María para acá, no me haga sumar porque me voy a asustar.
Sí, más o menos.
Bastante. Yo te diría más de $500, $600 de verdad. Es fuerte el gasto.
Casa Pueblo, a globally recognized and award-winning conservation nonprofit in Adjuntas, stepped in after Maria to provide all kinds of basic necessities to locals in theirs and other towns across the island.
Nosotros aquí le damos lo que tenemos. No importa partido, religión, clase social. Todo el que viene que necesita algo de lo que tenemos, se lo damos, sin fijarnos en nada de eso.
What we know is that we are very vulnerable.
Why was it so vulnerable? Why was it so, you take one down and the whole island goes array?
So Puerto Rico is an island. As an island, it has to import fossil fuels, mostly oil, to operate our energy system. Apart from that, our system is a centralized energy system, which means that all of the system is interconnected, and the energy consumers of Puerto Rico are passive consumers. We have to decentralize Puerto Rico's energy system. We have to integrate more renewable power into our system. We have to integrate the model of microgrids.
Most of the people live in the rural areas of Adjuntas, and they're not going to get power at all. in months to come. And some communities, the Power Authority have stated already that at least 200 communities in Puerto Rico, and some of them are in Adjuntas, will never get power again, ever.
For decades, the conversation around energy has been hot and sticky, but now, with the Public Power Authority deeply in debt and its entire infrastructure completely destroyed, the debate over privatization has everyone, all the way from Congress to the deep country, talking.
But it seems like one of the biggest reasons why it failed, it was being in public hands.
No, you know,
Okay.
I tell people this example, just because somebody does not take care of their child, you don't pass a law that says no one can have children. The private sector, as they should, they're always going to be looking for the profit. So what if it's not profitable all of a sudden to invest in the middle of a town where 10,000 people live? What happens to them?
The town of Adjuntas has just under 20,000 residents, but around the community of El Hoyo, they've heard that if they ever get power restored, it could take a whole year.
We were just walking up the hill from Annie's house when we met Jonathan and his mom. Without power, all they do is visit neighbors and family members who live next door.
¿Qué ha sido lo más difícil de estar sin luz?
Ahí en las noches. Sí, en las noches.
La soledad.
Televisión, no hay nada para uno entretenerse.
Jonathan was months away from finishing his master's degree in child psychology, but since Maria, he had to take a leave of absence, and now he's worried it'll set him back.
Sí, me preocupa porque me atraso, me perjudica, que me atraso.
The road that gets him to school was destroyed. Just up the road, for another neighbor, Maria, the lack of power could be the difference between life and death.
Quiero que conozcas su historia porque verdaderamente pues son unas personas luchadoras.
Maria is on dialysis, but without power, her machine doesn't work, so her husband has to perform the process manually.
Gracias. Can you describe to me how the dialysis is performed? What do you use? How do you do it?
Un estándar. Tiene un gelo, como un gelojito. Se pone una bolsa ahí. Baja por gravedad.
So manually, they're just depending on gravity. By force of gravity
To pull it out of her?
is to pull it out.
Se le saca por la glándula que ella tiene. Por esto. Se le saca por gravedad. Se le rompe un sellito a la otra bolsa. Se le mueve el gelo. Y ahí baja manualmente a través del estómago. Así sucesivamente.
Wow. And you have to do this 4 times a day for 2 hours every day, even through the night.
That means he also has to do it when it's dark. Initially, to see what he was doing, he was using a signal light that he ripped from his truck attached to a car battery. But that failed. Now he's using a solar bulb that Casa Pueblo gave him. But manual dialysis is still dangerous.
Oh, wow.
El manual no saca el agua suficiente del cuerpo, las toxinas del cuerpo. Entonces se me quedan en el cuerpo y eso me está afectando. Ha sido bastante cuesta arriba porque me siento más cansada, más débil. Me puede dar un paro renal, me puede dar... Pues yo también estoy operada de corazón abierto.
Does that scare you?
¿Eso la asusta?
Sí, y mucho.
They didn't know it yet, but both Jonathan's family and Maria's are among a few households in the town that Casa Pueblo will fit with solar lighting, water filtration, and a small refrigeration to tend to their most basic needs.
All right, if you missed yesterday's episode of Puerto Rico Rises, you can see it right now on our website or mobile apps. Just click on the Now section.
All right, have you ever wanted to know what you tweeted in 2007? Probably not.
But in case you did, apparently the Library of Congress has been archiving your 40-character musings. Details ahead.
And Jess Conley will tell us just how cold it's going to get tonight and for the rest of this week. The full forecast is coming up next. Police believe they have found the body of a missing woman. Cumberland County Sheriff's Office announced this morning that they were looking for Laureen Alexander of Baldwin. They say she was last seen on December 20th. Late this afternoon, Captain Goulet said they had found a body, but they are waiting for an official identification from the medical examiner's office.
The Trump name could be on a new piece of real estate, a train station in Jerusalem. An Israeli lawmaker wants to name a proposed station after President Donald Trump. The underground system would effectively connect Tel Aviv to the Western Wall, a holy site in the Jewish religion. President Trump became the first sitting president to visit the wall earlier this year, and just a few weeks ago he fulfilled a campaign promise to recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. The train system in general, regardless of the station's name, could face a lot of controversy because it would require excavation under several holy sites of multiple religions.
All right, whether you like it or not, the Library of Congress will no longer save your mindless tweets about puppies or pizza for all eternity. Since 2010, the library has been archiving all public tweets dating back to the creation of the social media site in 2006. Library staff say they began collecting tweets to acquire and preserve a record of knowledge and creativity for Congress and the American people. But no more. Starting the first of the year, only some tweets will be saved. The library will select tweets to be archived, similar to how websites are chosen for the archive. They will save tweets about specific historical events or cultural movements.
Now, some mixed reaction about this on Twitter. Diane wants to know who would select the tweets. She says it could be a way to squelch information. Simon says this is necessary to keep costs down, but choosing the best tweets for archiving is a huge responsibility, and the process should be transparent. Then, Caitlin seems more alarmed that the tweets were saved in the first place, asking if a user can ask the Library of Congress to delete their account's archive.
Speaking of social media, yesterday we told you about a big pickup for the New England Patriots. Well, it's official now. James Harrison, formerly of the Pittsburgh Steelers, posted to his Instagram yesterday saying he was excited to finally be on a team with someone older than he is. And of course, he was talking about the Patriots and Tom Brady. Harrison seems pumped about the signing, but Coach Bill Belichick, on the other hand, is characteristically dispassionate.
How would you describe his playing style?
Play outside linebacker for his Steelers. We'll see how it goes.
Do you see, I mean, obviously a different scheme for them, but do you see carryover between what they asked him to do and what he might do in your scheme?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll start working with him, see how it goes.
What are your thoughts on his career?
Good.
Yeah, good.
He's
so excited.
I always think of that meme that's like, let's party.
Yeah. And you got to appreciate the journalist trying to pull something out of him.
Yeah, good. He said
Yeah,
the
I
guy
know.
who leads the Steelers franchise in
See how it
sacks.
goes.
The Patriots and the fans, I believe, are very excited about this pickup.
Yeah, that's so funny though. He cracks me up. Not as exciting. The weather.
That's why we're delaying this. We're trying to kill time.
Going from Bill's ice cold demeanor to some even nastier weather.
Well done,
That's
sir.
really good. I cannot do a straight face. I don't know if you know that about me, but I laugh too much. Ready? Hold on.
Show all our viewers.
Serious face.
It didn't last very long.
I know, it's a little scary. Okay, let's talk about the weather. Current wind chills. This is going to be an issue overnight tonight and really through the day tomorrow as well. Look at these wind chills, especially across northern Maine. Caribou, 19 below is what it currently feels like. Greenville feels like 25 below. Even in Portland, southern Maine, and on the coast, it feels like 4 below right now. So, of course, it's going to get even colder overnight tonight, or it's going to feel even colder through the overnight hours. So make sure you are staying very warm. We have wind chill advisories in effect for the areas in kind of this lighter shade of blue. Wind chill warnings in effect for the areas in the periwinkle kind of shade there. Doesn't really matter what you call it. Either way, it is going to be dangerously cold overnight and into tomorrow. So let's talk about kind of the difference and what this actually means for you. With the wind chill advisory, it feels as cold as 15 to 25 below zero. This is for this one issued for tonight. Wind chill warnings, it could feel as low as 40 below overnight in places in northern and western Maine. So of course, dangerously cold. Keep those pets inside. I know we talked about this last night. And protect your vulnerable pipes in your house. You drip those faucets if you can and open any cabinets that might have pipes in them. All right, why is this happening? Part of the reason is because there's a large area of high pressure with very cold air. It's kind of just sticking with us through the rest of the week and into this weekend. You can see we have nice clear skies out there. We've had mostly sunny skies for the day today, but overnight tonight, the clear skies will let those temperatures cool off even more. As we go into tomorrow morning, most of us falling below zero, at the coast right around zero, and as we go through the day tomorrow, by tomorrow afternoon, only in the single digits. They feel like overnight lows, but this is it for our high temperatures tomorrow. Some of us may not even make it to 0 degrees in some of the western mountains and higher elevations. Thursday night, it gets even colder, back down into the single digits and falling below 0 for some of us. And then Friday, again, another cold start to the day. Remember, these are just the actual air temperatures, not factoring in the wind chill, so it'll feel even colder as we go throughout the next couple of days. We were saying earlier, it's felt so cold this December. Well, guess what? It has been. We've been well below normal. All of the days shaded in blue have been well below normal. The temperature today, high in Portland, only 15 degrees, and we may not see 15 again for the next 7 to 8 days. Departure this month, on average, we're about 2.1 degrees below normal. Doesn't seem like a lot, but actually it is. Could be one of the coldest Decembers. Here's your extended forecast. I mean, there's just not a lot to say. I worked on my cold adjectives, though, you'll notice.
Yeah.
Getting real creative on the 7-day here. It's just saying chilly right through the weekend. That storm that we were watching for the weekend looks like a big miss now. It's going to stay well off to our south. So at least we don't have to worry about that. I know people probably have plans this New Year's Eve weekend, but make sure you are dressing very warm if you're spending any time outdoors. It's going to stay cold through the weekend. The next warm up, quote unquote, Wednesday and Thursday, we might make it into the 20s, maybe some 30s. That's all I got. That's it. It's cold. It's crazy.
This is when you feel it in your face.
I know.
Yeah.
Hurts your
It's
teeth
just-
sometimes
It
outside
does.
too. Yeah.
It really
It's
does.
crazy.
Yeah.
Hopefully my long johns become stylish for New Year's Eve.
Yeah,
Like mock turtleneck.
Listen, the fleece-lined pants in Maine, it's where is
And the
that?
wool socks too. They're important.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, thanks, Jess.
Make
All
us
right,
feel
here's
cold.
a look at what's coming up on News Center at 5:30.
The back and forth between the Botanical Gardens and the town of Boothbay could be headed to court. Why the tourist attraction is suing the town.
And a southern Maine community is searching for a cure for a rare disease commonly referred to as childhood Alzheimer's. Those stories and much more coming up in just a few minutes. News Center Now continues right after this. Okay, we told you Keith Carson obviously not here, but we wanted to do our own sort of raindrops for you. We've been talking about how cold it's going to be this week and how cold it is today.
Think about in Arizona or some of those states where it gets really, really hot and dry and they're like frying an egg on the sidewalk. Well, we wanted to try with a bottle of water. How long will it take for this thing to freeze in these conditions? Let's find out. So here it is. I don't know if you guys can see this, but at the top, there's this little ring of ice.
Yeah, there's
and
water.
And the bottom, too.
There's
But
a little bit of
kind
water.
This weird.
But it's definitely solid.
This is by no means a perfect
Can't
experiment.
squeeze it. I know. Listen, this is why we let Keith do the brain drops and not necessarily us. But we're going to try this again tomorrow from what I hear.
Yeah,
So.
we will. All right, cool. Go watch News Center at 5:30. Thanks for joining, everybody.